It's time to review the front pages of our national dailies, and as always we'll start with the Daily Trust. Boldly written here is Lagos building fire. Survivors experts blame slow response. And this is the much we can take the only headline today in the front page of Daily Trust newspaper.
All right, next up we have the Guardian newspaper. Brain drain, exhausted doctors, long wait times, test public hospitals' care capacity. That's on page 4 and 5 of the Guardian newspaper. At the top left, we have investors avoid places where politicians control judiciary, says Jonathan. That's on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. BOI secures adaptation funds mandate to drive Nigeria's climate action. That's on page 3 of the Guardian. National Assembly withdraws contract circulars as 23.9 trillion naira capital budget rolls into 2026. That's on page 28 of the Guardian. Group praises alarm over massive data breach in Nigeria. And we have federal government unveils innovative loan scheme for retirees. That's still on the Guardian newspaper. Suspense disillusion as Fubara fails to show up after emergency rule ends. That's on page 6 of the Guardian. UBA delivers 335 billion naira PAT, 1.6 trillion naira gross earnings. That's on business page 19 of the Guardian. Oshun PDP wants suspicious letter on local government funds, case probed. That's on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. Make sure you grab yourself a copy and stay informed.
And right to Vanguard. Okay.
Now joining
us to review the headlines on the pages of our newspaper today is Nuruddin Abdullahi. He's the editor of the 21st Century Chronicle. Welcome, sir. Welcome.
Good morning. Nice to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Good morning. So now, thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you.
Straight away, Lagos building fire. Survivors, experts blame slow response. What do you have to say about this headline today?
I think it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate in the sense that the incident happened in a very highbrow area where the corporate offices of our blue chips companies are located. And it equally exposed, the systemic failure in the country. When there is a systemic failure, it affects everybody, the high and the low. If it happens, let's say, in Ajegunle, or Ikorodu, or one outskirt slums, or whatever in Lagos, yeah, you can understand, maybe these people are, but it's happening where the big guys are. And the emergency response system is the same. And all this is a result of the systemic failure. Our systems are degenerating. So when the system fails, it affects everybody. Those in power, the big guys, the rich guys, the corporate, whoever. So, just imagine if one of these top big guys were there, maybe even the owners of the places, they may still be affected. They may still be they must have relied on area boys to help them jump from the windows or whatever. So I think maybe it's a call, what happened in Lagos should give us a sort of concern to review these things. When the system fails, everybody suffers. You saw the videos, people are jumping. So look at the high-rise buildings we have in Abuja. Is there anything different? God forbid something happens. You'll still see people jumping from 10th floors, 15th floor, relying on, okay, maybe we don't have area boys here, to be. So this is the problem. There must be a review at all levels of government, the federal, the states, and whatever. That, okay, if you don't fix this thing, you may end up being a victim, or your loved one may be a victim. Your loved one may not be in Ikorodu, Ajegunle, where? Maybe in the broad streets. It's a highbrow area. The corporate firms are all there. The billionaires frequent those areas. But when a tragedy like this happens and there is nothing on ground to mitigate it, then you become a victim. And I hope that in Abuja here, Abuja is, imagine, we should not wait. We should learn from what is happening in Lagos to ensure that safety measures are adhered to strictly. And even the review, maybe what the Lagos people should do is they should review the safety systems of their high-rise. Is it in Lekki? Is it in Ikeja? Is it in Banana Island? Or what have you? Or else, we should not fold our arms until the next tragedy strikes. I think maybe it should be an eye-opener for us. It should be an eye-opener. And it's an embarrassment, particularly to the international community, that Lagos is the headquarters, it's our economic hub, and you see people jumping from the windows. It means that there is no system of evacuation in place. And now trading blames, saying that there was, okay, and look at it, when something like this happens, how many minutes does it take for the emergency officials to reach the place? We have to count all this. It was a fire incident. So it's just one of the, what happened was that, expose our weakness as a failing nation where systems are collapsing and it affects everybody, the big, the middle, and the low. It's unfortunate indeed. I mean, it's all of those who departed, rest in peace.
All right. Let's look at this headline still on Daily Trust. We have Fubara yet to resume. I'd like to hear your take on this particular issue, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe he's putting one or two things together. Is it now he's the godfather, if you put it that way, the FCT minister was explaining yesterday. He gave answer to this. There is no law. And he's a lawyer that said that he must resume on the same day he was installed. But if you look at the big picture, okay, democracy wins. But even though rule of law has been set aside, the presidency is boasting that, yes, we did what we did in Rivers because to save Fubara from impeachment. If you are impeached, he will not come back. But at least, he went for a sabbatical of 6 months, and he's back now. And they look at the State Assembly. They convened yesterday, and they said that he should represent the budget. Immediately, that's the word they use. They immediately send the list of commissioners. Maybe already after all the back and forth between him and the presidency and his godfather here in Abuja, maybe they already give him the list. Maybe he will just ask whoever to type it and send it to the, but let's see what happens, because there are so many issues. The presidency assumed the position of the courts to a certain extent, and back and forth, the constitutionality of what he did, and what even the sole administrator did. During his last hours, he sworn in a head of service. So we don't know what Fubara actually will do there. But anyways, time is very precious in politics. Anything can happen. Part of those things they say, which is unconfirmed, is that he will not seek second term. But things will happen. If there is a misunderstanding between the Abuja landlord and the presidency, Fubara will have his wait. But more importantly, I was saying it yesterday, who knows, in the next couple of days or weeks, you will see petition to EFCC to investigate the sole administrator, who was there for 6 months. Because, he did all manner of projects, CCTV, renovations, that, Rivers is rich. So we don't know, maybe we'll see the general now
being probed.
After 6 months.
Still in Daily Trust. Cholera kills 58 in Bauchi, and it's right in the page 6 of a Daily Trust. What do you have to say about this?
It's unfortunate that, we're still battling cholera, which is a byproduct of two things: dirty environment, dirty food, lack of hygiene, and what have you. So these are the issues. These are issues. Cholera is preventable. But, government at all level, the local level, which is almost non-existent, because the primary responsibilities of refuse evacuation is not being done. Look at our gutters. The cleanest among us is the one that will sweep his compound and dump it on the drainage in front of his house. You understand? Even in Abuja, you are passing some streets, you have to do like this, you have to wind up. Rainy season, you have to wind up. If else, enter some stagnant water and broken sewages, and what have you, open defecation. Yeah, because effort is being taken. I think it's almost national journalists in that as well. This is preventable. There are preventable dates. But unfortunately, in Nigeria, up to this moment, people are dying over causes that we can prevent with basic hygiene. Basic hygiene, yes. Basic hygiene. But unfortunately, it's really sad. This thing can be prevented. Basic hygiene. You don't need rocket science. It's not HIV. It's not Ebola. That you don't know the cure. It's not COVID or what have you. Basic hygiene. Go to some of our state capitals. Some areas are not even motorable because refuse have taken over the roads. Even Abuja here. So unless we do this, we synthesize, we have to mobilize community leaders. Maybe one thing, I think maybe we have to put our mosques and churches maybe into better use by using them as agents of mobilization. Instead of endorsement of one political party against another, let them be telling people in Islam, an-nazafatu min al-iman, cleanliness is part of our religion. So maybe if the imams and their pulpits, they would stop talking about politics and talk about, okay, let people be hygienic. At least let them keep the environment clean. Maybe the better for us.
All right. Quickly before we go, let's look at this statement that former President Jonathan said. He said, investors avoid places where politicians control judiciary. That's on The Guardian. So what is your take on that?
I don't know. Is the former president saying that while we know there is a division of labor in Nigeria, right? Division of powers. We have the executive, the presidency, and the judiciary. So the president is saying that the judiciary is no longer independent. I don't know. I don't know. But by and large, what he said now, we equally discourage investors. And it's true. Look at our cases, particularly in the arbitrations. Go to the UK, go to France, and what have you. Go to. There was a time that even a presidential plan was almost grounded. You remember? So these are the problems. Government is a continuum. But unfortunately, you do this with you and you leave power, she comes in, everything you do is none of her business. And the image of the country, pronouncement is not enough. Just we are talking about FDI. We have to rely on the crude that is not up to 2 million barrels, per day. But if, for instance, the environment is stable, the judiciary is actually independent. You don't need to say that you are independent. On your judgments, because there are certain judgments, like the president may be making one reference or the other, that you'll be thinking, judgments cannot be made from heaven based on our books and what the facts on ground. But the judgment is the facts are going south, but the judgment will completely going north. And these things are discouraged. And the moment when you don't have an independent judiciary, democracy will not thrive.
All right. All right, thank you very much, Nuruddin Abdallah, for helping us review the front pages of our national dailies this morning.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much for reviewing our newspapers this morning.
All right, with that, we've come to the end of Daybreak on Trust TV. Make sure you tune in tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. so that you don't miss out on Daybreak Extra. I'm Hawada Mikiawa. Thank you for watching.
That's right, Hawa. Keep a date with us on Daybreak Extra tomorrow. Myself and Fatima will be here to unpack what we have for you tomorrow on Daybreak Extra. I am Mariam Idris. Have a nice day.